Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to WRC Generations. We're going to continue our career mode where we left off after finally winning Rally Sweden after an absolute struggle at the end and obviously getting that win in the final long stage. And well, welcome to Croatia. This is absolutely one of the most difficult rallies I think I've ever done in my WRC gaming history. So I actually forgot to record the shakedown in terms of kind of events leading up to this and between Rally Sweden. We haven't really done too much. There was just kind of a rest days and some team building going on. Nothing in terms of historic rallies or anything like that. But we've done our shakedown, we've got them extra tyres, and we're now starting stage 1. As you can see, it's a tarmac rally. It's very tight, it's very difficult, and well, yeah, it's just not going to go to plan for us for this one. As you can see, early on, we're not even a minute in, and we've took a big hit on the car. Now, it's going to feel very similar to Rally Sweden. It's going to be an absolute tough time throughout. This opening stage absolutely destroying my hopes of getting a win. Honestly, I was so frustrated taking part in this stage and, you know, this rally. I felt like everything was up against me. But somehow we actually managed to improve, especially in the final few stages. There was just a couple of offs where it really cost us quite a bit of time. But you're going to see that this opening stage, yeah, this one was awful. We're already 24 seconds down after the first sector, and we know we've got to push to try and get that time back. The car is not feeling quite right for this rally. As you can see, we're going to ride the banking again, and yeah, we are going to manage to keep it under control. However, not long down the line, we're going to go for our second big off of the rally. This time going over the edge of the hill and going for a nice little roll. So we're taking a decent amount of damage on the car right now, as well as a decent amount of penalties, 15 seconds worth already, and we're not even at the end of sector 2 for stage 1. So I'm already pretty much down and out. I've got no hope of winning this stage. We're 37 seconds behind first place, and it's just looking like an absolute shambles. I was ready just to retire the car and give up on this rally, but we kept on plugging away. And you're going to notice that as we kind of get into the groove of, you know, tarmac rallying in WRC Generations, we're going to get more and more used to the car. Obviously, we're in the junior category, so we're in the WRC free cars here, the Ford Fiesta rally car. Front wheel drive, a little bit kind of, as you can see, twitchy as we have another off, and as soon as we get a green sector as well. So yeah, it just felt like through the, you know, the first stage, we were just kind of starting to make time up, and then I have a silly little off. But yeah, we did manage to get the car a bit more under control as we went through. I just didn't have it set up too right for this opening stage at least. So as you can see, we're going to go up and across the line to finish stage 1, and yeah, we're going to finally get this awful stage out of the way. A very bad time of 5 minutes 57.655, but how far back are we at the end of this? As you can see, 43 seconds back after stage 1. However, we did get to repair the car, so that means we're going to get most of the repairs done, thankfully. In fact, I believe we got them all done, so we're not going to have to worry too much about the car kind of running with, you know, more damage than it should, and kind of slowing us and bogging us down. So we did manage to get the car pretty much done and ready for the next stage. So stage 2 up now, and as you can see, more tarmac, at least more dry weather, for now at least. I am going to hint to what I believe is the next stage after this one is going to be like. But you know, another dry stage, and it's time to really just kind of get our heads down and try and work our way up that leaderboard. As you can see, we're going as hard as we can as early as possible, but at the same time, trying to keep it as clean as possible as well. Obviously, you know, these slight little mistakes I was making by just kind of pushing it a little bit too far over the car's limit was really costing us a bunch of time. So we needed to just get going, but you know, keep it as smooth as possible, really, without absolutely, you know, having a little off and costing ourselves another 20-30 seconds in penalties just through one stage. But the car felt much more comfortable this time around. The car feeling much better set up for this stage, as we're just a little bit off first place. But the time is going to manage to pick up as we go through that really awesome left-hander, which you may remember from WRC 10 as well. And now we are 2 seconds up and absolutely flying. Quite an open bit of road here, only a few really kind of more tighter corners, but I able to kind of, you know, get that throttle down. Quite a quick stage this one, and we've got constant greens apart from that first sector, so we're going to finish up stage 2 in a much better time and hopefully get ourselves a little bit further up that leaderboard. As you can see, we're just going to finish off through the right-hander and across the line. We're going to power through, and we're going to do that stage in 3 minutes 57.629. But we have taken our first stage win, much better this time, 15 seconds faster than second place, which we desperately needed. And overall, that's going to put us in P5 and only 23 seconds back. However, the third stage rolls around, and as you can see, it's bad news for us. We are on dry tyres. We didn't put any wet tyres on or even as spares, so we're actually going to run on full dries in wet conditions. And yeah, it's just going to be a very slippy and slidey stage. However, early on, we actually managed to get the car going rather quite well, to be honest, even though it was slipping and sliding and bogging down on power, especially on the drive out of corners. You can see the car just sort of kind of goes really slow, but then starts sliding off. We did manage to keep it, you know, pretty nice and clean. We managed to get quite a bit out of the car and push early on, even though, you know, it wasn't the cleanest run and we was, you know, having the weather against us. We did perform, you know, pretty well, to be honest. Which is the main thing I'm trying to do. Obviously, I'm on the wrong compound of tyre here. Obviously, it's not going to be too difficult, but it's still going to be a little bit more tricky with some parts of the stage just being a lot wetter than others, especially early on. Just, you know, feeling that grip go away. It was quite difficult and weird to get used to. However, we were having a pretty decent stage of it. As you can see, we're already nearly 2 seconds up after sector 1. Come sector 2, we are now literally almost 10 seconds up. We're 7.5 seconds up, so we are increasing that gap. All we need to do really is just keep it smooth, steady, and as fast as possible without the weather catching us out. However, it just wasn't meant to be. I mean, honestly, we're going to start having our offs here. As you can see, it's not too bad of a one. We did take a bit of a hit onto the banking and into some rocks, and it is going to cost us a bit of time. However, we can still manage to keep pushing. We've got a decent gap at this point. As you can see, though, we did lose a bit of time getting 2 red sectors in this stage, and then we are going to have the one that pretty much, I guess in a way, felt like game over for us. Sliding off the track there, taking that penalty, taking some suspension damage. It just felt like all the hard work we'd done early on, really kind of pushing and getting that time back down, had just been completely taken away from us. So as we go into the final part of the track, we're going to have another off, and again into one of the fences or barriers, whatever you want to call it, at the side of the track, and then we're going to have a tough time to actually get the car back up. Now, I could respawn at this point, but I'm still in the hope that it would have been quicker to drive out. But by the time, you know, I do manage to get it out, I realise, look, it's too late. It would have been quicker to respawn the car and take the penalty. But we are going to come across the line with 10 seconds of penalties from this stage after such a great opening sort of sectors. Yeah, the weather did finally catch us out. However, we are going to be able to repair the car and get ready for the power stage. So overall, we did that stage in about 5.5 minutes. Again, coming out last, 33 seconds back. And sadly, overall in the rally, it's going to absolutely push us back down the standings. 52 seconds off of first and 10 seconds off of 5th place. So just, yeah, everything up against us. 25 seconds worth of penalties as well. So we're not really going to be pleasing the team with the performance that we've had here at Croatia. But like I said, we had a chance to repair the car as much as possible before we went out on the power stage. Obviously, bonus points up available here as well. So we wanted to be as quick and as smooth as possible. Now, it was all about taking a bit of risk. So you're going to see my tyre choice here is a bit of a risky one. It could either work or it might not. So we were running on hard tyres for the first 2 stages, and as you can see, they're starting to wear a little bit now. Obviously, the power stage is going to be a longer one, and yeah, it was just time to just go all out or nothing, really. So we shoved these soft, dry asphalt tyres on and put some wets as spare, just in case we needed to pop them on at any point. So we're going to pop them on there, and that is our tyre choice done. So we know we've got the speed now, we know we've got the compound. However, will they be able to manage and last for all of this stage? Obviously, it's a quite a long stage, obviously 20,000 meters worth of road and tarmac. But with a 52-second gap, we knew what we had to do. We had to push as hard as possible and try and make no mistakes. So as you can see here, we're absolutely flying out and getting on with this stage as quickly as possible if we want any chance of kind of moving up those standings. And as we come to the end of the first sector, we are going to manage a very good time with 4 seconds, almost 5 seconds up on second place. So that is exactly what we needed. However, that is still not enough, so we've got to continue pushing on. So as we come to the end of the second sector, quite a tough part this, because you've got the bridge coming up at the end of here, and it's going to be quite a bumpy kind of off camber sector. We do manage to get the car 11 seconds up, which is much more positive, and it means that again within those sectors we managed to put another 6 seconds over second place behind us. We're not quite sure who's where either, so it's just all about doing the best we can to try and get us up those standings. So as we come to the end of sector 4, we're now 22 seconds up. However, that gap of 53 seconds, I believe it was, yeah, it's still looking unlikely that we can just get that time down and actually take an overall rally victory. I feel like that's going to be massively unlikely, but a top 3, I would happily settle for that. As you can see, almost at the halfway point, the tyre wear isn't too bad either, so the tyres really are hanging in there. We've had no wet weather yet, and as we continue on to the later stages, we're now 39.251 seconds up on second place. We are almost at the point where we could actually win this rally outright. However, we're going to come to a hairpin and we're just going to overshoot it with the handbrake, spinning the car around and having to get going again. Luckily, we didn't kind of reverse back down that banking and lose a ton more time or take any penalties, so just a little minor off. However, then rain started coming. Now I'm sat there thinking, do I swap the tyres over on the car or do I keep on pushing? And I choose the latter. I keep on pushing on these soft dries and just hope that the rain isn't, you know, too heavy to the point where it's going to absolutely ruin our stage. But as you can see, it started coming down a lot harder. 37 seconds up now, so it's looking like the win is just gone away from us with that little spin and the wet weather coming in. So we're almost at the end of the power stage, and as you can see, we're absolutely pushing through these tight little roads. Really awesome to drive on, to be honest. When you start getting a flow of it, yeah, this is when WRC is at its absolute best. But as you can see, the roads are getting slippier and slippier as we start having a few tiny little offs, finding ourselves running a bit too wide onto those bankings. And as we go into the second to last sector, we are 49.935 seconds up and almost at the point where we could actually win this stage. For some reason, it seems like the AI has struggled when the weather's decided to change, but we continue to push on and we're going to go across the line. But is it going to be enough for an outright stage win? At this point, I'm thinking not, but it did feel like a very quick stage. We did that one in a 14 minutes 26.324. Honestly, the flow I had going during that stage just felt absolutely awesome. I don't think I've pushed a car to those kind of limits in a long time. And we managed to take a 54-second gap over second place in this single stage. So is it going to be enough? Where's everybody else in the standings? Let's find out. Overall, we did a 29 minutes 57.840, taking the rally win out of nowhere yet again in the final stage, even after all those issues, by just a single second, just over 1.2 seconds to be more precise. So again, somehow we've repeated what we did in Sweden. We've took a absolute outright rally victory just by pushing massively on the power stage and winning the power stage yet again. For some reason, these longer stages just seem to absolutely suit me. I seem to be able to, pick more flow up, and I feel like once the pressure's on, it's like all of a sudden I start performing the way I should be. So we've took 2 out of 2 rally wins, outright victories in our category in the WRC Junior categories. So as we push on to try and get that driving WRC 2 for next year, we've took a nice lead in the points standings, which is exactly what we need in these early stages of our career. And obviously we get a nice little podium celebration feature, which is always awesome to see your car on top of that little podium. But what does that do for the point standings? As you can see, we've come out with 25 and 10 points from Sweden and 25 and 9 points from Croatia, giving us a total of 69 points, with second place on 47, third and fourth both tied on 30, 5th on 24, and 6th place on 19. So a nice healthy lead going into the next round. So that's going to be it for our career mode. Don't forget to subscribe because I'll be covering this game all the way up until we get that Rally 1 Championship winning WRC outright. So yeah, it's going to be a good few months in terms of rally gaming for myself. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, all that good stuff. Turn those notifications on and I'll see you later on. Take care guys. Peace.